Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up. It's Packers victory time. To this date, the Packers are 4-0 in Dallas. Can a new streak emerge as the Packers look to win back-to-back road games against the Purple Pride? We break down that great victory and hopefully an even greater one yet to come next on your Packers Fan Podcast.
Hey Packers fans, this is your unofficial Packers Fan Podcast, and these are the podcasters you're looking for. One of these guys actually kissed the magical 13.5-yard line, and the other guy will challenge you to a game of pinball anytime. And now, it's time to Go Pack Go with your hosts, Wayne Henderson and Troy Heinritz.
Thanks for tuning in to your Packers Fan Podcast, the show by and for fans of your 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers. And we've got a hotline for you. It's area code 920-3PACK-GO. That's 920-3PACK-GO. Or go to PackersFanPodcast.com/feedback for all the ways you can get in touch with us and be part of the next episode of the show. This episode is episode number 141. It's October 11th, 2017, and we will have show notes for things we talk about at PackersFanPodcast.com/141.
On this week's edition, we'll be talking about the Heart Attack Pack doing it again, improving to 4-1 on the season, and that's a 3-game advantage on the Cowboys if you're playing along on the playoff hunt already this early in the season.
Woohoo!
Also, we have a new set of stars arising for the Packers on the field with the big star. Should be a gold star instead of a silver one for all the fun we had this week. Plus, the latest injury and update news will be shared as well.
And Troy is going to share some hot safety tips for when you're cheering for your team. And he's going to have the keys to the Packers having a continued win streak starting this Sunday against the Vikes. And one of our favorite segments, brilliant feedback from you, the G-Force. And me, still doused in the smell of victory. I'm at Wayne Henderson, the voice acting, podcasting part owner of your 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers.
And rally caps fully affixed still to this point. I am at Troy Heinritz, whose favorite color is no longer purple, despite what you may see in my closet from my work wardrobe. The Packer, it is very purple. The Packers Fan Podcast is available on demand and on the go with our free Packers Fan Podcast app. It's available for both iOS and Android. And man, what a game. Where were you, Sir Wayne, when Davante Adams caught that touchdown?
I was actually out of town visiting with the kids and grandkids, and my mother-in-law was there. The tiny ones, one of them was taking a nap. One was playing a video game. The other two were watching this game, and we were having pizza in the oven, and it was just a big family gathering, and it got very, very loud. That's where I was. Where were you, Sir Troy?
Well, I was sitting in the living room of my new home because I still hadn't gotten all the cable wires run and hooked up in all the different places. But I was sitting there in a metal folding chair, glued to a 26-inch television, and just imagining myself screaming outside and the neighbors going, "Who the hell's this guy who moved in?
Who sold this guy the house? Who gave him that Bears key?"
Man, what an exciting finish. You figure that they're running the ball. Aaron Rodgers is going to have, if he gets any time at all, he's going to have like a minute left. And then Aaron Rodgers comes out and does exactly what he did in the playoff game last year, which is just find the open receivers and just march methodically down the field. And what a catch by Davante Adams, a guy who is literally looking like he was headed for a season-ending injury, maybe even career-ending injury, comes back the week after with that great grab over the shoulder. Man, just talk about heart. What a amazing week-over-week story for Davante Adams.
You could not write a script that would be more improbable than this. And that pass from Aaron Rodgers to Davante, almost nobody could defend that. It was undefendable as long as Davante catches it, and he did. It was the Cowboys fans in the stadium in Texas. They are just shocked and stunned that we let it happen again.
I mean, it's when you sit back and think about how that drive unfolded and then to end in the touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, we keep talking about this guy. I mean, how lucky are we to have Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers back to back as Packer fans? Because there is no one, I think, not even Favre, not Bart Starr, not Tom Brady. There is no one who could throw that football and put it on that spot like Aaron Rodgers was able to, because man, was that good coverage that he had. It just out of his reach, just by inches.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that it was all set up by that sack that didn't happen. He was able to wiggle out of that sack and then get out of that other guy's grasp and actually gain a first down. And you could tell by the look on Aaron's face that he had purpose and look out, because that first down is mine and the game is ours. Get out of the way, Dallas. Who's your daddy?
He's exactly right. I especially love the high stepping down the sideline when he's trying to break free. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's what those ballet lessons are for when you're a football player.
Just another Packers classic. And the fact that early in the game, the heart attack pack, we're down by, 15. I wasn't too nervous, though, believe it or not. I'm being completely honest. I just thought, we just got to get to halftime. We'll make some adjustments. Maybe McCarthy will have a really good speech. Something's bound to happen because, it's not a Sunday night game. It's a Sunday afternoon game in the Dome. Aaron Rodgers is ready to be on fire.
Man, I could tell you that this was really impressive, especially when you think about how we did it on the ground with the running game. What? 100-yard rusher? Can anybody say that Aaron Jones is a stud? Oh, wait, I think I did during the preseason. And now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, picking him up for their fantasy teams. Let me tell you, Ty Montgomery, Aaron Jones, back to back, both in the backfield. You could run right, you could run left. This is exciting stuff for Packers football. Let me tell you, to have two running backs that could produce like this, amazing stuff up ahead, especially when you think about those big tight ends that could block down the line.
And especially exciting because once we make it past the Vikings and the Saints, hopefully winning both of those games going into the bye week, get more and more of our players healthy, we could come out of the bye week the most dangerous team in the NFL.
2 words, Wayne. Power sweep.
Oh, yeah. You make a seal here and a seal here.
It'll be interesting to see if we can actually bring that back. Would that be fun?
That would be fun. Call it the Lombardi.
The good old times. But I think the best part of the game, now this was completely impromptu. Jordy Nelson came up with this, but they've relaxed these end zone celebrations. And I have to tell you, since the Iggy Shuffle, I don't think I've seen anything more clever than the Packers bobsled touchdown celebration. This thing was crazy. They actually jump in the sled, lean left, lean right.
And they did it in
so
such
funny.
a way where it wasn't in perfect sync, because that's not how actual bobsledders are. They're not in perfect sync. This was executed, in my opinion, I'm not a bobsledder, but to me, it looked like I was watching the Winter Olympics. It was fantastic. I even had to talk my son-in-law, rewind. We got to see that again.
It's almost as if they were practicing to maybe have a Packers bobsled team.
Why not? Aaron Rodgers goes around to all the television game shows and wins almost every single one. Jordy and the team, maybe heading to Winter Olympics. I don't know, but I'm glad I didn't miss it. I missed the first portion of the game because of where I was at is almost Niners territory, and they wouldn't switch over to the Packers game till that horrific Niners overtime loss was over. And luckily I didn't miss too much.
It's like, really, you're just going to keep that game on so that the fans will have another heartbreaking loss? Oh, so sad.
Yeah, such a shame. But on the plus side, my dreams of an 0-16 Niners season are still alive. Woo!
It's almost like it's the 90s all over again, but Packers are up and the Dallas Cowboys and the Niners are down. I like these things.
And speaking of things that are up or down we were just last week on Demarius Randall, but boy, did he save our bacon this week. Demarius, thank you.
Yes, the interception return for the pick 6. First one this season, first one in a long time. And I think this is something that might spark that cornerback group. But at the same time, there was a couple plays where Demarius was covering receivers that he wasn't actually covering.
That's okay. That's okay. He had the pick 6. That's all I care about.
As long as you score points, all else is forgiven.
I mean, we all jumped off the couch. I hope no pizza was spilled at my daughter's place, but it was just a pick 6, man. That is one way to fire things up.
Yeah, I believe the expression is something like, run you, great, awesome person you.
Something along those lines.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I did the same thing. And the minute he caught that ball, I was like, run, run, dang it, run.
So what a thing of beauty, and stinks to be a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Sure does. It's almost as bad as being a Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah, almost, except for I think the Lions are 3-2, so they're not in quite as big of a bag of hurt just yet.
Yeah, but that really expensive quarterback, hurt a little bit, and no one's talking about it.
Isn't that
it's all
strange?
Hush, hush. I'm excited to see where that's going to turn out to be because, Matt Stafford goes down, the whole Lions organization falls apart.
Heck, even the Vikings quarterback's not looking so great.
Well, hey, we'll get to Casey in a minute. So
that's right. Right. One thing at a time. Now, it wasn't all just golden memories.
Sure, because we deferred to coin toss again on the road, and they went and scored on the first drive. What? Come on. On the road, take the ball. Take the ball on the road.
Yeah, you got to try to put those Cowboys fans out of the game. I mean, an early touchdown, like you talked about time and time again, Troy, could quiet the crowd. But man, the position of the sun in the third and fourth quarter.
Is that the dumbest thing you've ever seen? Like, who built that place?
Who designs these moronic stadiums? This disaster in Dallas and then the stadium monstrosity up in Minnesota. I don't know.
I like the better when it's just all concrete. What's this glass stuff? We got glass stadiums, glass phones. I mean, stuff just breaks. Let's go back to concrete.
It was just unreal. The sun, even watching on television, I was like, oh my goodness, how's he supposed to find targets?
I know the camera kept doing that end zone shot, and it's like, I can't see. Just pan away. Camera 2, take 2.
We were quite fortunate that in February, a number of years ago, that the sun is in a different position in the sky when you have a Super Bowl there, and we're able to win.
Yes, we are 4-0 in Dallas. Crazy. It's like another home stadium.
We'll take it. What the heck? We got a lot of Texas Packers down there. The Texas-only Green Bay Packers fanatics and all their friends and family, so it could happen. I heard chants of Go Pack Go coming out of Dallas.
Oh, I heard a lot of them, and they were quite loud, both inside and outside the stadium.
There is some magic going on around the Green Bay Packers.
Injuries still plague us. We'll get to the injury report in a little bit, but I think first we want to get to all of your awesome feedback. Again, 920-3PACK-GO is the line, always open, ready for your comments anytime, any day of the week, especially after the game. First up this week, Art checks in.
Ow! Wayne, Troy, I'm too excited right now to leave a lengthy message, but woo! Go Pack Go! I don't think there's anything better than living in Texas, surrounded by Cowboys fans, and being a Packers fan. Ow! Go Pack Go!
That is fantastic. That came in shortly after the game. And Art, we can tell how excited you were. Thank you so much for calling in. And yes, it took a long time to come down from the excitement of this game. It was almost at playoff level. I mean, I just watched all the replays, all the post-game interviews, and Art, Go Pack Go.
Yeah, I unpacked about 80 boxes after that game. I had so much energy. I'm like, here's another box. Let's do another box. Let's do another box.
So your wife was very happy the Packers won because you could unload a lot of boxes.
Absolutely.
Had to call in, guys. What a game. What a game. This is Rob. I'm in Alexandria, Virginia. What a gutsy performance. I'm just blown away. Green and gold till I'm dead and cold. Go Pack Go. Can't wait for the show.
Go Pack Go indeed. Rob from Virginia. I mean, it's like the America's team is definitely with the Green Bay Packers because when you beat the so-called America's team, it just puts it all to shame. Like, just move it over. It's totally fine. We'll take the placard. We'll put it right outside Lambeau Field. Next time I'm up there, I'll just tack it up for everybody.
That would be very nice indeed. Yeah, everybody was watching this game or at least knew of this game because people that I work with. 98%
of the country, wasn't it? Like the TV coverage was like almost the whole country.
Yeah, pretty much it was. And people knew that this was big. You know, the Cowboys, Packers, it was huge. This coming week's game, well, we'll touch on that. I will need to find alternative ways for the programming because for some reason, the Los Angeles market is not showing any football game on Fox Sunday morning.
Oh. It's a noon game, so I have not even looked because I'm so used to the Packers playing either the game of the week or at night. So this is the first noon game of the season. I got to see if I even get the game this week.
Yeah, I believe you do. I looked at a map today and it looked like it was 80% of America, except for pockets of us that get an infomercial on the George Foreman grill. Something like that. I don't know.
Got to cook those brats somehow.
True. I can record it and, next time you're in SoCal, we'll watch it.
Sounds like a plan.
Hello, this is Andre in LA, calling, still fired up from yesterday's win over the much-hated Cowboys. Very impressed with the offense, obviously Aaron Rodgers and the running back Jones, if doesn't get his first name. Especially impressed because they didn't have the ball that much. They were very efficient, very surgical, very clutch. I love this team so much. But I got to be honest, again, very disappointed in the defense. Early in the game, they stopped the run pretty consistently. Maybe they were fatigued in the second half, but man, did they look bad in the passing game, especially whenever Dak Prescott scrambled a little bit. It seems like whatever receiver was just wide open for 20 yards, and we couldn't get off the field, especially on third down. I forget what they were on third down, but so we got to shore up that defense. But love this team. Love the podcast. Great and go, so I'm dead and go. Go Pack, go.
Andre, thank you so very much for your kind words and for giving us a call at 920-3PACK-GO. And that was a good – you made a lot of great points in there, but the one that stuck out was the first one about the fact that we had, I believe, less time of possession. But in the end, apparently scoreboard is what really counts.
Yeah, 24 minutes to 35 minutes. A time of possession like that is definitely a losing proposition most of the time, especially when you're looking at almost 60% third down efficiency, 7 out of 12 in this game. I mean, ridiculous. Every time it was, especially when you look at that first series out of the gate, right? Ezekiel Elliott, tackle for a loss, tackle for 1 yard, third down play. Oh, there's 40 yards down the field.
Man.
The running defense looked like it was doing its job, but the passing defense looks like crap. So hopefully that gets fixed.
Yeah, don't anybody let the Vikings know that if they want to throw the ball on third down, maybe 10, 15 yards into the middle of the field, that they got a good chance of a completion. Don't tell them. Shh.
Yeah, it's 163 net yards rushing and a 245 net yards passing. So the average there looks like it was a one sack. And 251 was the gross yards. So, yeah, definitely a big time passing game there. 6.6 yards average gain per passing play. So Dallas definitely ate our lunch when it comes to the passing game. So we got to fix that secondary pretty quick.
So they felt pretty good about themselves till they looked at the scoreboard.
Oops.
And then looked at their standings in the NFC East.
Yeah.
They better watch out for the Eagles.
Hey, happy Monday, Sir Wayne and Sir Troy. This is Matt from Naperville, Illinois, deep in enemy territory. What a game last night against the Cowboys. Wow. Excellent start to the week. Have to give a shout-out to Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and Aaron for carrying the team and coming up big when we needed it. Just a great feeling to go into Dallas and get a victory for the Pack. Have a great week. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go indeed, Matt. Naperville, that means we get to have a Packers watch party in Schaumburg. Halfway in between. Send us a note. Email us at feedback@PackersFanPodcast.com. Let's make that happen. Anybody else that's in Bears country listening to the Packers Fan Podcast here, if you are around, let's get a watch party going. That'd be fun. It'd be nice to hook up with Matt. Exciting stuff. Can't believe I'm still on a high from this victory, Wayne.
I know it was 3 days ago, but hey, that's less than a week. We're not even midway through the time in between the games. So yeah, keep celebrating. Ride that victory all the way into Minnesota. Oh, yet or hey.
Hey guys, it's Jay from Southern California. Man, what a game. The sense on the pattern here that we're starting slow in the first half and getting better in the second half. The only time we didn't do it is in the Bears game, so I think you're onto something, Troy. We need to stop deferring. Anyway, what a great game. Good comeback win. Fantastic. Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go, Jay. Thanks again for giving us a call. And yes, I don't know whatever happened to all this talk about the Packers are going to start strong. We're going to start fast. And in almost every game but that Bears game, we start slow. But like you said, Jay, if we did on the Packers what Troy recommends, who knows?
Yeah, especially if we went no huddle. I mean, imagine if you came out first drive, take the ball, go no huddle, march down the field, 3 minutes, boom, put up 7. Man, would that be impressive.
I'd like to see that this coming Sunday afternoon, however it is that I get to see the game.
Hey, this is Stephen Rediker again, calling from Montana now, not North Dakota. I just want to say we've got a great new running back with Aaron Jones. He did an awesome job on Sunday. Can't wait to see the rest of the season and loving your guys' podcast. Go Pack Go, green and gold till I'm dead and cold.
Thanks so much, Steven from Montana, not North Dakota. Did the state change the name or did Steven move? That's what I want to know. I can't believe that Aaron Jones has been sitting on the bench as long as he has in this season, to be quite honest, because I thought he was on fire in preseason. And just give the guy a chance. They talked about limiting what Ty Montgomery was going to do because they were going to wear him out. You might as well just have had the 2-force tandem in there from the beginning. Imagine what we could have been doing maybe against that Bengals, maybe even running the ball against the Falcons with a 2-person tandem would have been a difference maker in the game. So here's we're hoping with Ty Montgomery practicing today. Hopefully we can see a 2-back tandem going forward because that would be fun to watch.
I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. And I also want to see more of the Ripper too.
The Ripper, yes, on the lead block. That would be fantastic. We also had an email in from Caleb Fisher in O'Connell Falls, Wisconsin. Wanted to give my input on the Packers-Cowboys game, noticing that the Dallas Cowboys had so many calls, not even called on the Cowboys defense. Yeah, there were quite a few pass interference calls that I just won't even talk about because I'll just lose my mind again. Another thing I was impressed with was the running back Jones, and we're impressed with Aaron Rodgers on that final drive for the Packers. All in all, great game. Go Pack Go. Bleed green and gold till dead and cold. Caleb Fisher, O'Connell Falls, Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean, the big thing, Wayne, is that 4th down conversion. Imagine the difference maker that game was just to have. It looked like the defense had stopped him on 4th down. It would have been the first time the Cowboys had been stopped on 4th down all season. And just that stretch of the football gets like the inch you need to get the first down. I mean, that had to have been completely gut-wrenching. And then to be able to then, get the field goal to go up so that way we were able to stop them from scoring, but then turn around and have that final drive. I mean, just amazing effort all around. And I think the offense was really, on that last drive, doing one for the defense because the defense really did a great job trying to stop that 4th down run.
Yeah, and it would have been great to have seen the ball maybe punched out of Ezekiel's hands when he reached, but that's all in the past. And as they kept marching, even Cowboy lover Troy Aikman said, you don't want to score too fast here. You don't want to leave Aaron Rodgers too much time. That's too bad.
That's not a lot of time. That's not a lot of time.
No,
that's an amazing effort. Amazing effort.
But considering 2 years ago, we beat the Lions, that we were trailing the entire game until time expired. And then Aaron Rodgers throws the Hail Mary and has thrown many Hail Marys since. I don't know how that guy has such an uncanny ability to be so on target.
Competitive nature. Competitors always win. It's when you give up that you lose. Put it on a bumper sticker.
I'm printing it right now. I've got my pen and pencil. Handy. Anyway, checking in with the Facebook Packers Fan Podcast community group, Granny Cheese said, I keep saying I'm going to call, then I don't, but I still love y'all. Go Pack Go.
We love you too.
And I don't know if that was meant to rhyme, but I tried.
You're a poet and don't even know it. Super Chef Brett Connor in the UK said, hey, Wayne and Troy, what a great game that was, starting with a terrible call for a personal foul by Martinez, which essentially turned 3 points into 7 for the Cowboys, and then Crosby missing the extra point. Bong! I thought this wasn't going to be our day, but alas it was. It was great to see Devontae Adams back on the field scoring touchdowns, and was also great to see a running game. How great is Aaron Jones looking? I'm hoping next week's game in Minnesota doesn't come down to the wire. Would be great to get the run game going again. So here's to another win. Packers 35, Vikings 17. Go Packers.
Brett from the UK, thank you for posting that. I love your score prediction. 35-17 would be very relaxing compared to this past week. And yeah, the fact that so many things went wrong with the missed field goals and extra points and things like that, and the bad calls, but still the Packers just are not giving up this season more than even in past seasons. We just show again and again that we are in it to win it, and they just have a whole new attitude. We will find a way if at all possible.
Now, if you go back to our preseason prediction show, I said the Packers were going to go 13-3 this year, and this was a game I had marked as a loss. So 14-2, baby. Here we come.
I'm loving the sound of that because I always get nervous when you call for a loss and you use your head instead of your heart. I hate that.
Hey, I threw him up there. I said it was going to be either I said Atlanta, Dallas. Maybe we'd split one with the Lions, and then there would be like a goofy one like the Saints or the Panthers. But no.
One game at a time. Let's see how it all comes together. But check out more conversations happening over in our Packers Fan Podcast Facebook group. Quick link to get you there, packerscommunity.com.
Definitely be part of that. Injury news, we are down to 10. Yes, 10 on the injury report. Bakhtiari was a limited participant today, as well as Brian Bulaga. Now, we definitely need to get both of these guys back because Aaron Rodgers is officially now the most sacked quarterback in the NFL this season.
Yikes.
Ouch. So definitely heal up, and hopefully those guys turn to FPs by Friday instead of LPs on the injury report. Ahmad Brooks is still down with his back injury. He did not participate today, as well as Morgan Burnett with the hamstring, and Kevin King did not participate in the concussion protocol. That is going to hurt if he is not able to go on Sunday. Devon House was back with limited participation, but the big news is that even though Jordy was missing from that final drive, he was a full participant at practice today, along with Nick Perry and Ty Montgomery. So things are looking up for the Packers in that regard. So definitely some people out there, again, keep an eye on the Friday status. Friday status is the big one to determine if they're going to play or not this weekend.
Yeah, because did we ever find out what this mystery injury or whatever it was that happened to Jordy? Was it a bobsledding accident?
He must have tweaked his neck on turn 7.
That thing's a pain in the butt.
No, it sounded like it was just like a strained muscle or something, an ankle aggravation. But yeah, full participant out there today, so he'll be up and going, no problems. But you know who has problems is this guy down in Florida. Probably the craziest story I've ever heard, Wayne. So this is our hot tip, and I mean hot tip for being a fan of a team, because when your team loses, it definitely sucks. It's definitely not serious enough to justify setting yourself on fire.
What? Wait a minute.
Yes.
What?
I told you it was a hot tip. So a guy set himself on fire in Florida after losing a bet with his wife that the Cowboys would beat the Packers. The couple made a bet and established that the loser would burn their team's jersey. Since the Packers did win an instant classic over the Cowboys, yet another last-minute touchdown led by Aaron Rodgers, this 27-year-old man set his Cowboys jersey on fire and then tried to put it on while it was burning.
Now, wait a minute. Is there any mention of whether or not alcohol was involved here?
You watching football, there's probably a good bet.
Lights the jersey on fire and then tries to put it on.
Yes, lights the jersey on fire. Because I thought at first I was like, okay, maybe his friend lit the jersey while it was still on his body. That would make sense. And he's trying to take it off. But no, he put the jersey on after it was lit.
What an idiot.
The man had to be rushed to the hospital with third-degree burns, which is truly awful. The newspaper down there said at the hospital, deputies spoke with a couple who admitted they were watching the game, agreed to burn the losing team's jersey. However, the man decided to wear the jersey as it was burning. As a witness said, he was set on fire after losing a bet on the Cowboys game. The skin was hanging off his arm and his back.
That's
he
terrible.
Suffered third-degree burns on his right arm and right hand and second-degree burns on his back. Now, there are all kinds of bad ideas coming into play here. So for future reference, here's a handy list of things to avoid as a sports fan.
Now, wait. Just a second, Troy. I don't want to miss any of these. Let me grab my pen and paper. Okay. Okay, ready. Go. I want to make sure I get these.
All right. Number 1, do not make bets with your spouse or significant other when it comes to football games. They'll never let you live it down if you lose.
Right.
Probably just a good idea not to bet against your spouse at all.
True.
Number 2, don't set your jersey on fire. Good tip.
Makes sense. It's money saving that way as well.
Even better, number 3, don't set yourself on fire.
Wow, the fact that it has to be listed, much like the directions for toothpaste, just causes me to shake my head.
Our litigious society, you got to make sure you put the disclaimer on everything. Number 4, please don't set anyone or anything else on fire.
Okay, roger that.
But most importantly, number 5, don't try to wear something that's already on fire.
No. Okay, I've got quite a list here, but it sounds like I've already got these committed to memory. These all make sense.
And if you didn't get that summary, just watch some Beavis and Butthead. Fire, fire, fire.
Fire, 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 fire. Oh, shut up, Beavis.
Well, it's not fun when your team loses, and it's a lot less fun when you land in the hospital recovering from third-degree burns because you tried to wear a burning jersey.
Oh, man. I hope the guy's going to be okay. In all seriousness, alcohol must have been involved. Which
had to have been.
Don't burn your jerseys.
I'll give you $20 if you put it on, man. Sounds good.
Oh, man, hold this.
Can I get $2,000 for the ER visit? Thanks.
Yeah, because the insurance company may not want to waive the copay on that one.
Probably not. But we move on to the Great White North of Minnesota and the 10,000 Lakes. As we look to last year, the Packers actually had one hell of a time getting things going in Minnesota, only scoring 14 points at the start of that game versus at home when they played the Vikings last year, where they had 14 points by the end of the first quarter.
But that was probably due to it being a Sunday night indoor game like you've talked about in the past.
I believe it was. And it was the second game of the season, much like Atlanta.
Yes.
So the key to this game is starting fast, which means
no deferment. Win the coin toss, take the ball, score. Get those Vikings fans out of the game right away, because after watching how pitiful they were against the Bears, even though they won, here's hoping that this could just put the nail in their season.
Oh, it'd be fantastic. But because more than likely at this point, as of Wednesday, Case Keenum will be the starter for Minnesota when they take the field on Sunday. They had no business trotting Bradford out there. He was just not ready to come back from his injuries.
No.
So Keenum will be the starter most likely on Sunday, and the Vikings will want to run the football and keep Aaron Rodgers off the field, which I don't think that really seems to matter after last week. But if the Packers can force them to play catch-up, life becomes way easier for Nick Perry and Clay Matthews and Josh Jones even, who should have a field day against a weaker Minnesota front five. So look for a big pass rush this week. Nitro in effect. Now, Stephon Diggs lit up the Packers with a huge stat line of 182 yards and a touchdown for 9 catches when they met in Minnesota last year. Now, as of today, Diggs was a non-participant in practice, even though he did finish the game on Sunday. Now, Demaryius still has some coverage problems, and with King in the concussion protocol, this is going to be an interesting item to watch as the week progresses. So here's hoping either King or Rollins can contain Diggs in the secondary if he does end up playing on Sunday.
Quick question, Troy. Where is the best place, like after Friday afternoon, to check to see who was a full participant in practice and not? Just at Packers.com, or is there someplace quicker and easier to find?
Yep, literally Packers.com. The first tab up on the left is, I think, team, and then hit the injury report. And it'll be up there as soon as practice is over.
Which is usually when?
It's an early one on Friday, so I would check around noon, 2 o'clock at the latest,
Central
probably.
Time. Okay.
Central time.
That way we're
yes.
kind of put yourself in the know. Okay, back to your keys to victory.
Number 3, we need Bakhtiari back in a bad way. Aaron Rodgers, as I mentioned, is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL, despite our 4-1 start. But Minnesota's Everson Griffin already has 6 sacks on the year, and Danielle Hunter led the team with 12.5 sacks, 2.5 of which of those last year were against Aaron Rodgers. Now, the front five does have their work cut out for them, especially if we want to establish a 1-2 punch with Aaron Jones and Ty Montgomery, who was a full participant at practice today. So good news. We are going to make sure we wear down that defense so Aaron can get a little bit of a break from laying on his back for half the game.
on artificial turf, which again this week, artificial turf. Stop
but the
it.
bonus is that it's not Sunday night in a dome on the road. So things are already +1 for the Packers at this point.
We'll take it, Troy. We'll take it.
And if you think you're going to this game, get tickets today because they are hot, hot, hot. At SeatGeek, not because anybody set them on fire or anything, but at SeatGeek, the average resale price of all the seats for the Packers is $318 versus the $167 next week for the Baltimore Ravens contest. So yeah, like almost double for tickets this weekend.
Understandable.
Vivid Seats also said the Packers-Vikings game is the second most in demand of the weekend with an average ticket price of $270. The highest average above the Packers-Vikings game is the Giants-Broncos Sunday night game at $308.
That makes no sense because the Giants are terrible.
Denver's not that much better either, but it is Sunday night, so more people can probably attend.
Okay, maybe that's got to be the thing that puts it in their favor because they know they have a good chance of being on TV, but wow. Okay.
Yeah, so in summary, start fast, make Case Keenum work for it, basically. Get Nick Perry and Clay Matthews involved, cover Stephon Diggs, and make sure we protect Aaron Rodgers and go 1-2 punch with Aaron Jones and Ty Montgomery.
Those are great keys to victory. I can see that happening. And do they have any estimates on what a Packers versus, say, the Chiefs Super Bowl might cost us for the cheap seats?
$2,000.
$2,000. Okay. Talk that over with the finance committee so we can be ready.
Sure.
Anyway, the official Packers dope sheet. It's here yet again. This one's dedicated to the Packers at Vikings. What is this, week 6 now? I can't keep track anymore.
Oh my gosh, just time's flying.
Because some teams are already having bye weeks, and so it's really throwing the standings off. Anyway, we'll have the link to the full thing in the show notes at PackersFanPodcast.com/141. Now, the 4-1 Green Bay Packers go north to battle the 3-2 Minnesota Vikings Sunday at high noon Central Time. That was well done, Troy. Green Bay has won 5 of the last 7 at Minnesota. Check.
Wow. That's impressive. I didn't think it was that high.
There's a lot of surprises in here that you're going to be blown away by. Of the past 29 regular season meetings between these teams, 20 of those games have been decided by 7 points or less.
Not surprised there.
Yeah. Keep the heart attack medication nearby if you need it. They have split the series both of the past 2 years. Just throwing that one out there. Now, the Packers are 11-3-1 in the last 15 games between the teams during the regular and postseason. That's a pretty good stat. 11-3-1. I'll take that. And it keeps getting better. The Packers have scored 30-plus points in 8 of their last 14 regular season games against Minnesota.
I like that.
And surprisingly, the Packers are the only team with 4 touchdowns on opening drives this season. Can I get a go, Pack, go?
Is that for the Packers or against the Packers? Because I remember 2 opening drives that were against the Packers that were for touchdowns. Okay, I'll stop talking about the deferment now.
I just hope we win that coin toss and we take the ball because that alone is going to get me up out of my seat. And
that'd be so much fun.
As of today, the Green Bay Packers are number 1 in red zone efficiency this season. 15 TDs on 19 drives. That's a 78.95%. And Green Bay has scored 9 TDs on 10 red zone drives in the last 2 games. What say you, Troy?
They are on fire in the red zone. That is for sure. And I believe they are technically 100% in the red zone because they've also scored field goals on the other 4 attempts that did not convert into touchdowns. So points every single time we get inside the 20.
Seems easy enough. Now we just have to get down there. And
that seems to be the problem.
The big notable connection this week, for me anyway, was Vikings running backs coach Kennedy Palomalu was the offensive coordinator at UCLA during the time that Packers defensive tackle Kenny Clark and backup quarterback Brett Hundley were there with the Bruins. So there's a little bit of history there on the collegiate level, but you can prep yourselves for Sunday's game by reading the full Green Bay Packers dope sheet for the Packers at Vikings game, linked at packersfanpodcast.com/141.
Yeah, we should also mention that we have this interesting concept coming up called the NFL VR experience. It's going to be touted for after the Packers at Vikings game, and you can check it out at www.nextvr.com/NFL/VR-experience-announce. We'll have that link obviously up in the show notes at packersfanpodcast.com/141. The National Football League and NextVR are back for a second season to bring the fans an immersive post-game experience in virtual reality featuring highlights from 5 2017 NFL regular season games. The NFL VR experience will be hosted by Super Bowl champion Reggie Bush, and each post-game will showcase the best VR moments from the game and be available to fans on demand in the NextVR app. Now, kicking things off today in the NextVR app, the NFL VR experience preview show from the NextVR studio with Reggie Bush takes fans through the 5 2017 NFL regular season game matchups and what they can expect from the immersive VR post-game program. Following the final scheduled game in NextVR, the duo will be back in the NextVR studio to recap the best plays from the season's VR lineup. I truly feel that VR is the future. It's innovative, and I couldn't wait to be part of it, commented Reggie Bush in my best Reggie Bush voice. I'm excited for the fans to watch football in XVR because they're going to get a real in-game experience of what we go through as athletes on the field. So the VR experiences do include Green Bay at Minnesota this week, followed by Los Angeles Chargers at the New England Patriots on October 29th,
Blech.
Cowboys at Falcons on the 12th of November, Broncos at Raiders on the 26th of November, and the Cowboys at Giants on Sunday, December 10th. It's going to be a really fun experience. Now, NextVR is the world's leading virtual reality platform for delivering live sports and music in virtual reality to fans globally. Launched in 2009, the company has multiple patented technologies that deliver unparalleled virtual reality experience, providing fans extraordinary access and profound immersion. NextVR is world-class partnerships with leaders in sports and entertainment, including the NFL, NBA, Fox Sports, Live Nation, and the International Champions Cup. Visit nextvr.com for more info.
I might need to do that, but I think you could answer a simple question, and forgive my ignorance on this, but I assume to really get any effect from this, you have to have virtual reality glasses.
Yeah, or you can get some Google Cardboard or make your own kind of virtual reality box, if you will. But yeah, you definitely need to have something that will give you the VR experience, whether that's Vive or Oculus Rift or something of that nature.
And are these the type where you just like slip your phone into it? I mean, is that what projects
very much
it?
So.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
It's definitely cutting edge. In one way, it's surprising that the company's been around since 2009. That seems, I mean, that's 8 years they've been planning this, but nextvr.com, they have got it under control. I might have to miss out, but man, if you've got VR technology at your fingertips, I think Packers, Vikings, I mean, not just because it's our Packers, but I think this is definitely going to be the marquee one of the season, I believe.
I would think so. Absolutely.
And the colors are going to be very pretty and vibrant, whereas some of those other games have a lot of yucky silver and stuff.
Ugh. Cowboys twice. What are they thinking?
And of course, the game time weather at the Purple Jawa monstrosity in Minnesota doesn't matter because it's indoors.
That's exactly right. Oh my gosh. So we ended up at 35-31. So I was closer on the Packers side. You were closer on the Cowboys side.
I don't know. Or was it the other way around?
Yeah. I had Packers 33. You had Cowboys 28.
Oh, okay. So I'll let you take the field first because you were closer to guessing the Packers score, and that's what really counts. But again, be careful. It's artificial turf yet again.
I didn't even look at the line for this week. I'm going to go blind. I'm going to say 37-24.
37-24. We better jot that down for future reference.
It's going to be a scorcher.
That's it.
Scoring scorcher.
That's a pretty big margin of victory. That's along the same lines as Brett in the UK, who said Packers 35, Vikings 17.
Yeah.
So kind of the same. And you're asking for even more points. So that's a good thing.
Because the secondary can't stop anybody right now.
I think they can stop the Vikings, though. I think we're all kind of in the same boat here. I'm thinking Packers 33, Vikings 17.
All right. Well, that seems like we have consensus. Packers win again.
I love it. Go, Pack, go. So anyway, we'll see what happens. And like Hank Davis used to say on his football podcast, this is for entertainment purposes only. And of course, bragging rights when the Packers win and we clinch the division in early November. That would be very nice.
And when the Vikings come out there and play like the Bears, you can also hear Hank Davis say, "That's not football."
There's so many things this year. I wish That's Not Football was around because, wow, this season is writing itself.
Oh my gosh, it sure is.
We want to send out a lot of thanks to folks supporting us. You Packers fan G-Force MVPs on Patreon. Jeff Summerfield, you rock, sir. And very well played of you for supporting the podcast at the Brett Favre $4 level. Just like that old MVP, the old gunslinger Brett Favre himself.
And we have the Texas-only Green Bay Packers fanatics in the Facebook group out there. Join up and cheer on with those guys. It's a fun time to watch the game in that group when they're all fired up. Then they are sponsoring us also at the Brett Favre level because they never give up, just like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers for that matter.
That's true. We've got a whole slew of people.
They're going to need to upgrade from the Brett Favre level to the Aaron Rodgers level, I think, after this week.
Ooh, Troy's laying the gauntlet down. We also want to thank Alex J. supporting us at the Curly Lambeau Field. Well done and very much appreciated.
You can help us make the Packers Fan Podcast even better by becoming one of our MVP Patreon supporters. Helps us grow the show so we can bring more great content and more great fun each and every week to all of you. Go on over to PackersFanPodcast.com/support. If you can't support us financially via the Patreon website, you could at least use our Amazon link. Again, PackersFanPodcast.com/Amazon to all of your shopping. Christmas is just around the corner. So start stocking up. Get them all delivered and wrapped, and you don't have to do anything. It's fantastic. Plus, we get a couple bucks.
And happy holidays, Troy.
Happy holidays to you as well.
So again, thank you, Alex J., the Texas-only Green Bay Packers fanatics, and Jeff Summerfield for your support. It's invaluable. And we want to remind you to join the Packers Fan Podcast community Facebook group so you can converse amongst yourselves with other great Packers fans. Again, PackersCommunity.com. Keep the conversations going, and on game day, light it up.
Definitely make sure. I know we're still all kind of on the contact high from the win, but we need to take a nap, rest up, get ready, because Sunday will be here before you know it. It's early, guys. It's noon. I mean, noon. I'm not even like into my bratwurst and burgers and beer at that point. It's so early.
I know. It's early everywhere. I mean, here on the West Coast, it's 10 a.m. I can go to the local place and have French toast and watch the game if need be, if I need to go out to watch it. And for our friends in Europe and the UK, they don't have to stay up way past midnight.
I know. Blessing for them. 10 a.m. You could do Bloody Mary bars and just have Bloody Mary stuff for breakfast. Sausage in there, some string cheese, and could really go all out.
We're going to have to consult with Brett Connor. He's the chef here. Let us know what's the best way UK time to celebrate food with the Packers game.
With that, we will get out of here. The Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast is not affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers. However, we'd be happy to do so. Just let us know. media@PackersFanPodcast.com. And again, don't forget to become one of the Packers Fan Podcast faithful by visiting PackersFanPodcast.com/support. See how you can help make the podcast even better. Please, please, please tell all the Packer fans you know to go ahead and tune in and listen to us every week here on the Packers Fan Podcast.
I know I'm going to be telling friends about it. I'm going to have Packers Fan Podcast business cards with me Sunday morning if I have to go out. And there's always Packer fans there. And hey, there's this podcast thing. Talk about the Packers. Here, PackersFanPodcast.com. Also, take us on the go with our free Packers Fan Podcast apps. Got one for Android, got one for iOS. If you're a bilingual family and part of you are iPhone and part are Android, you can both still have the app and listen to us that way. Also, follow us on Twitter for the Monday Twitter poll at PackersFanPod, and my personal account, just because I'm at Wayne Henderson.
And my personal account, just because I'm at Troy Heinrichs. Be sure to also join the new Packers Fan Podcast community group. We had some fun out there. You saw me posting a picture of my rally cap. So make sure you visit PackersFanPodcast.com/Facebook or PackersCommunity.com. Make it even easier to join in on the conversation.
And speaking of conversation, we want you to converse with us and be part of the next episode of the show, especially if we give a shellacking to the Minnesota Vikings. We want to hear your feedback, like all the great calls tonight. Go to PackersFanPodcast.com/feedback for all the ways where your voice can be heard. And again, keep the conversations going online. We've got fun stuff. When the Packers are riding a high and we're 4-1, and if we go 5-1 after this week, we are going to be talking to everybody we know about the Green Bay Packers heading to the playoffs. So until then, we just want to thank you for listening to us. We are a little giddy because we too are excited about that Packers victory. Thanks for listening to the Packers Fan Podcast.
Be sure to subscribe in Apple Podcasts so you don't miss any of our off-season coverage, and leave a review if you're really enjoying the show. A review really does help get us noticed and exposed in the Apple Podcast ecosystem. But it is time to travel north, west, depending on where you live in Wisconsin or anywhere in the world. Head on up to Minnesota, park outside the giant sandcrawler, say hi to the Jawas because even they know how to cheer. Go Pack, go!